Do you want to be an MCA? Do you want to be a governor? Do you want to be a woman rep? What are the qualifications? Don't panic, don't panic, don't panic. I know you don't have a degree. Then why are we taking our students, our children, to have degrees? If we are saying an MCA does not need a degree, a governor does not need a degree, not even a diploma, a senator does not need to have academic language, how will these people communicate in parliament? My God, is Kenya going to be the only country where we are going to take fools to parliament? The budget was read. Will people who have no degree understand the budget? Can they pass the laws? Can they oversight the government? A governor is an executive of a county government. He cannot have the same academic qualification like an MCA. The senator has the power to impeach the president. He cannot be somebody who is a standard 2 dropout. Governors are earning more than 1 million shillings. An MCA is earning around 200,000 shillings. How can they be having the same academic qualification? The next general election is on Tuesday, 10th August 2027. There will be no academic qualification. University students, PhD holders, master's degree holders, you will contest together with this Form 4 dropouts. You'll contest together to be governors with the standard 2 dropouts, with somebody who never went to school. Kibaki drafted, the slogan was, tupambane na ujinga. The reason why we put a lot of our resources in education is to remove ujinga. Ujinga can only be removed from going to school. The judge, Justice Murima, is crying, holding his head, saying, oh my God, is Kenya going to accept mediocrity? Wow. That is the law. Welcome to Court Helicopter Explainer. We are today dealing with the most fundamental issue. The next general election is on the 10th of August 2027, which is on a Tuesday. What are the qualifications? Do you want to be an MCA? Do you want to be a governor? Do you want to be a woman rep? Do you want to be a senator? What are the academic qualifications? Are you aware previously there was Section 22 of the Elections Act that puts that every elective office, one has to have a degree? So, is that section still available? Don't panic, don't panic, don't panic. I know you don't have a degree. Don't panic. This question was taken before the court. In the High Court at Nairobi, Milimani Law Courts, Constitutional and Human Rights Petition number 290 of 2022, Judge A.C. Murima, J. This is Victor Boga, the petitioner against the Attorney General and the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission. This was a judgment dated September 30th, 2022. What was the petitioner arguing? In paragraph 9, the petitioner says, the petitioner referred to one of the disputes before the IEBC Dispute Resolution Committee, referenced as IEBC/DRC/CRG/56/2022, where the issue was the eligibility of a gubernatorial candidate, one Wavinya Ndeti. She's now the current governor of Machakos, where it was contended that she was ineligible since as she did not possess a genuine degree from a recognized university. The petitioner contended that there is no provision in the Constitution that candidates vying for elections of county governor must have an academic degree. The scales of justice were put. Was Wavinya Ndeti going to be a candidate? They filed their petition at the IBC tribunal. They said she has no valid license, degree. The IBC tribunal sat. That time, it was being headed by Chebukati, the late Chebukati. They weighed the weights, and they allowed her to contest. That question never ended at the IBC tribunal. It went now to the High Court. And one petitioner, Boga, challenged that decision, that contention. The judge looked at this, and the judge found out the following. In paragraph 125, the judge says the Constitution does not provide for any academic qualification for a person standing for election as an MCA. The Constitution does not provide qualification for MCAs. Section 22 of the Elections Act says, in the case of a member of parliament, a degree from a university recognized in Kenya. In the case of a member of a county assembly, a degree recognized from a university in Kenya. So they put under the Elections Act 2011, that everybody must have a degree. What did the judge provide? In paragraph 146, the judge says, Article 182 of the Constitution sets the eligibility for election as a county governor at par with those for a person seeking election as an MCA. The prevailing position is that one does not require a degree from a recognized university to file for the position of an MCA. That is therefore the position with the one vying for the position of the county governor. Paragraph 149. This court therefore agrees with the petitioner that the impugned section, to the extent of calling upon those vying for the position of a county governor to possess a degree recognized by a university in Kenya, regardless of whether such a requirement applies to the eligibility of an MCA, makes additional academic requirements for county governors than those set by the Constitution. What did the judge say? Justice Murima raised very fundamental questions, and which Wakili Dunstan Omari is also worried. Then why are we taking our students, our children, to have degrees? If we are saying an MCA does not need a degree, a governor does not need a degree, not even a diploma, a senator does not need to have academic language, how will these people communicate in parliament? My God. Are we going to take people who have never gone to school? The judge wondered aloud. Justice Murima wondered aloud. The way Wakili Dunstan Omari is wondering. Let us hear the judge wondering. In paragraph 151, the judge says, the reality is that Kenya is a member of the international community and has for so far taken several steps and programs in attaining some of the globally agreed standards. Such include the effort in attaining the Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, as well as political rights, through various initiatives, including, but not limited to, execution of international covenants. Therefore, a time is soon catching up with us when the dictates of global demands and trends will make a university degree qualification or its equivalent an inevitable necessity in every elective office. The judge is saying the Constitution says nobody should have a degree. But look at the globe. Look at worldwide. Is Kenya going to be the only country where we are going to take fools to parliament? We are going to take people who can't communicate. People who are going to make laws without degrees. What quality? The budget was read. Will people who have no degree understand the budget? Can they pass the laws? Can they oversight the government? This is the judge crying. But the judge is saying, there's nothing I can do. That is the constitutional provision. He says in paragraph 227, however, at the moment, I do not think that the impugned provision was well thought out. To equate the academic qualification of all elective positions in Kenya at par, without any differentiation, without regard to the different attending responsibilities, and by disregarding the different remunerations and benefits, the impugned provision runs contra several provisions of the Constitution. The judge is crying. Listen to Mrima crying. What is he crying? He says, if we equate academic qualifications of all positions to be the same, we cannot differentiate their different mandates. A governor is an executive of a county government. He cannot have the same academic qualification like an MCA. The senator has the power to impeach the president. He cannot be somebody who is a standard 2 dropout. That is what the judge is crying. And he moves on to say, we look at the differential remunerations. Governors are earning more than 1 million shillings. An MCA is earning around 200,000 shillings. How can they be having the same academic qualification? Their mandates are different, their salaries are different, their constitutional duties are different. Look at it. What were the final orders? A declaration is here issued that section 2.2, section 2 of the Elections Act number 24 of 2011 contravenes Article 182 of the Constitution by creating an avenue for differentiation between the eligibility requirements between members of the county assembly and county governors, hence unconstitutional. So this is the reality. Listen to what the judge talked about. Elections 2027. These provisions were not, because this is a judgment that was done in September 2022. Already elections had been done. So the judge addressed this judgment to the election coming next year. See, as the country has just held a general election, and there's a likelihood of filing of election petitions, variously contesting the gubernatorial position, then with a view of forestalling an avalanche of petitions by those who are ineligible by dint of the impugned section, and coupled with the late filing of the instant petition, the declaration of unconstitutionality of Section 22(2) of the Election Act shall take effect in the next general election. So this is the law for the next general election. The next general election is on Tuesday, 10th August 2027. There will be no academic qualification. University students, PhD holders, master's degree holders, you will contest together with this Form 4 dropouts. You'll contest together to be governors with the Standard 2 dropouts, with somebody who never went to school. That is the law. This is not the first time. For those who were there when we were young people, the parliament then, we had people like Mulu Butisia, who were functionally illiterate. We had people like Njenga Karume. They were ministers. They never went to school. They were charcoal dealers. We had quite a number in parliament. Kariuki Chotara, they were never educated. The next parliament will have such people. That is now the reality that we have. Other people will argue, you don't need a degree to be elected. You need to be wise. You don't need formal education. That is not the reality. The truth is, knowledge is acquired through a formal education system. That is why people start from nursery, they go to primary, they go to secondary, they go to colleges, they go upwards. Every level of education, you are inducted and trained formally in the type of reasoning that you did. So, why then don't we bring the village elders and take them to parliament? The reason why we have Article 232 is that recruitment must be on merit and professionalism. Budget making process is a serious accounting process. Every law in parliament is a technical question. It does not need anybody who is wise. It needs understanding and appreciating principles, theories, equations, and all those issues. We are back in those old ages when we had a complete illiterate government. In 1963, when we took over power, the sessional paper Kibaki drafted, the slogan was, Tupambane na ujinga. The reason why we put a lot of our resources in education is to remove ujinga. Ujinga can only be removed from going to school. Everybody is born with an empty slate. A brain of a child is called a tabula rasa. The child goes to school to learn. Every time the child is in school, new knowledge is impacted into that child. And that child grows to be a professional. Now, what is the reason of taking kids to school? The politicians. Do we really need education for politicians? The answer is now very clear. And that is why the judge is crying. We don't need education. Look at how the debates in parliament are useless. Look at how people don't regard politicians. Look at how the character of politicians, it is despicable. Tell me now, when we are going to have those who have never gone to school in parliament, how will parliament be? Whether these people will understand parliamentary standing orders, we don't understand. Whether these people who are going to be elected will be able even to sign a document. We have blamed parliament of the laws that have been passed. This parliament with very many professors, this parliament with very many lawyers, with very many senior counsels, with very many doctors, with very many accountants, with very many senior journalists, everybody holds them that they are mediocre. Now look at the bunch that is going to come back. Nobody challenged this decision. Nobody has moved in parliament to amend the constitutional provision. What are you doing in university if it is going to be a free-for-all for anybody to be in the ballot? Wakili Omari, I've never been mad. I have always insisted on getting every young person to educate herself, every parent to educate their children. The children, after getting a first degree, to further their studies so that they can lead. How are we going to be led by fools? We are actually going to be led into darkness. The judge, Justice Murima, is crying, holding his head, saying, oh my God, is Kenya going to accept mediocrity? Wow. Wakili Dan Omari and the Court Helicopter, my research team, Vivian, who has done a tremendous good job to get this. Keep watching. Always a pleasure. Thank you.